Hi everyone, so I got my Flex looms in the mail. Now there's two different gauge sizes. I will put in the video description what the gauge sizes are and some more information about these. But it comes in two sizes. We got the skinny for thin yarn. We got the chunky for thicker yarn. Now it does come with flat pieces and swivel pieces. Now I've already opened this one up and messed around with it some, so I'll open up this one so you can see how they come. Should have 4 packs in here, a piece of paper, and your loom tool. Here's my loom tool. Now the paper shows you your different options for how you can put it together, how many links you need for different things. Now, this one I'm going to push over to the side, and I'll go ahead and open this one up so I can show you the difference. Now this one I've already, which I'll show you how to put the links together, but this one here's like our movable links, and here is the solid links. And then there are still, so with one kit, I was able to make enough to have enough yarn. I gotta weave my ends in. See, I gotta weave the ends in. But with this loom, I was able to make a little baby hat. And with this loom, I made a little cow. Little neck warmer. One thing I did notice is when I first started messing around with it, see how that goes, I was a little concerned. But what you gotta think of is when you cast on, you're putting extra tension at the top. So it doesn't bend that easy once you have your project on the loom. So now I have some extra pieces here. Show you how you can put these together. Now these are the extra oval pieces, the swivel pieces. Move some of this stuff out of the way here. Now with the swivel ones, they come in 2 different colors. That really helps if you are doing a design such as a ribbing, like a 2x2, like knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. And I want to show you these pieces. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. They're numbered. So 4, that one's a 4. This one is a 3. Now, it doesn't matter what order you hook those in, but with specific patterns, that might actually be pretty beneficial. But they are all made the same. You can see there's a little bit of a bump there and there. That's just to hold this in, and you'll hear a snap. See? There it is. And it swivels. Now, if you watch, this is the main thing. The gauge doesn't change with the swivel, and that was what I was concerned about. But look at this hat done on the swivel. I've got like the figure 8 stitch and some garter stitch. I was just trying to play around with a few different stitches and see how they look. And there's no laddering, which that's where if you start and stop in the same place on a project, or if your gauge is different, you end up with these lines. So it's not laddering at all. But you just keep snapping these together. You want to make sure these are facing out. Which I'll snap a few together, enough to make you a little circle so you can see. And you can do little tiny things, you can do bigger. But let's see here. And then when you are done, you got the size you want. If you're hooking it together, there you go. I'm not sure what I would make on that. A little, like a purse strap, I-cord type thing. I don't know. But see, this one's actually sturdy enough that I could do, if I needed to do something small like this. And that's actually not the ones that don't move. Now, when you go to take them apart, this is going to look a little harsh, so just do it easy. I was very nervous the first time I took them apart, but it actually comes apart pretty easy. The plastic isn't brittle. As you can see, it has a good bend to it. The only time that really becomes much of an issue is if you're going to rake knit, which double knitting, that's what I did on this, and I switched up to a couple different stitches, stockinette, rib stitch. With any double knitting, you got to kind of be careful unless you're using a very solid wooden loom. If your tension is tight, you can see how this middle will start to pull together like that. Now, so you want to kind of watch your tension. Some people will actually kind of in between rows, will place something in between there to kind of keep that separated apart. Now, take some of this apart and show you how to put it together. Let me see, and as you can see, we've got our numbers on them. And again, they just snap in. But these ones, it's just a smooth edge instead of, see, this gives you that swivel, this doesn't. And you can hook the swivel ones to the non-swivel ones. I've been seeing people doing this some for those who don't want it to be quite as bendy. And okay, when I first saw this, my big thing was like, okay, coming apart, because anytime I've tried looms that put together, honestly, other than the KB ones, I won't name other brands, but there are some out there. I'm sure you guys are familiar with them. And if you want to leave your own horror stories in the video description, in the comment section below, have at it. But one thing I did notice is, okay, say this is my lap. I was watching, actually we were binge watching Star Trek Voyager. Second time I've been through it, y'all. I'm a Trekkie. You know, live long, prosper. We miss Spock. Anyway, so if you notice the top of this hat, we don't have that big bulky knot. What I did is, if you are familiar, let me zoom this in just a little bit. If this is too confusing, I will be doing a full video on this little hat. I'm not sure when I'll have it out because I am actually trying to concentrate on a couple other looms. I did want to go ahead and write one pattern for each of these. Well, one in the round, one in the long. Just have a little bit of content out there. But the woman who actually came up with this design, oh no, I'm so sorry, I can't remember your name off the top of my head. I am so sorry. In the video description below, make sure you subscribe to her YouTube channel, because this is where you're going to be seeing a lot more about this loom. What she actually did was she went to KB Looms with this idea, and they worked with her and they made it happen. So that's like super exciting, and I'm very, very, very happy for her. But yes, her information will be below. I'll check to see if she has Ravelry, Etsy, anything like that, and I'll make sure all of her information is below, because that will be excuse me, this and getting on KB Loom's site is going to be your best way to get more patterns. But do keep in mind, you can use any pattern on this. Any. You just use the same amount of loom, the same number of pegs. Now what I did is, let's say this is my lap. I was binge watching Star Trek and I was working on it. So I was kind of able to flatten it out on my lap to where it just kind of molded to like my leg, which was more like that. And I just kind of went, and as I went, I just kind of flattened it over, so I was working like this to where I can just kind of go in like auto mode. So that was something that, because I thought it might be kind of awkward with it bending all the time. It really isn't, because you can, especially if you like to sit and watch TV and knit, because then you can like kind of sit it on your lap and just bend it around as you need to. I've seen people like to work on it in this way. So yes, don't go out there and only search for patterns that use this specific loom. You take your papers, which you can screenshot this right here if you would like to, but you know how many pegs you need. So you can find something with similar gauge, which again, I'm not seeing it on here. Oh, no, here it is. Skinny is 3/8 gauge. Here we go. Chunky is 5/8 gauge. I completely looked right over that. It is right underneath. But what's cool is this works really good with a number 5 or number 6 yarn. And this goes good with a 3 or a 4. So right there, I love the aspect that they give that too, because it can be very, very confusing to pick out the correct yarn for your loom. Okay, so I'll take this one apart and kind of put it together, because I honestly kind of confused myself with the corner pieces. I thought into it a little more. And again, the numbers doesn't make a difference on how they attach. Just make sure you got your... See, we got that one. That one. And you can do them all one collar. You can rotate the collars however you like. Now, when you want to do a bend, see your spacing? It's the same. If you want, you can make it bigger like this, because they did say if you wanted to do rake style, I'd just do one, and then you would hook it this way and go across. But if you want to use it for weaving or something, you just make it however big you need it. The hardest one to put in is this very last one, but as you can see, you've got a good bit of bend to it, and it'll snap in. And see, and like I said, there is bend to them, but that's good, because you're less likely, if this was really solid and sturdy, there would be a very good chance that you would break these connectors. And as I said, when the yarn's on it, it stabilizes it from being able to move too far, because you have the tension between the pegs. One more thing I want to show you is, when I was talking about the hat, when you're at the top of a hat and you want to do your decrease. If you are familiar with doing decreases, this will be a lot easier to explain. But basically what you do is you go around the loom, you want to empty off every other link. Typically, you would take the stitch from this peg, put here. This peg, you would empty up every other peg. But instead of emptying up every other peg, you're going to empty up all the attachments of one collar. So you would take this stitch, lift it off, and move it over here. You would take this stitch, lift it off, move it over here. That releases the tension on that to where you can take it apart and snap it back together. That way these 4 are already decreased. Well, actually just be these 3. But they're already decreased. And then, of course, you go over to the next one, that over here, that over there, and whichever way is easier. And then you just snap them together. Oops. That's how I did my decreases. And then, once I was into just the small circle of one collar, then I would move this one over, leave one empty, move this one over, leave one empty, and then I do a flat top cast off, if you're unfamiliar with that. I do have videos on it. There's a lot of really good information out there. So, everybody who's got this loom, questions, comments, please leave them in the comment section below. If there's issues you're having, if there's aspects of it that you really like. I love the fact that I can set this up for a pair of socks, roll it up like this, and throw it into just any bag I'm working with. So, like, I love that aspect, that it does make it a lot more versatile and it's easier to travel with, because that's always been an issue with knitting looms, is travel. But here, so I'll show you guys the boxes again, and here's this one, all the pieces that come with it, which as you can see, the pieces are made different sizes so they cannot connect to each other. I was kind of wondering about that. Thought you might be able to come up with some cool stuff if they could connect, but they do not connect. But these ones are made, it's probably good because these ones are made larger, so it's probably more durable on them to have them bigger. Well, guys, I went over a lot with this one. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I really think this is a cool loom, a cool idea. I was really excited about it, and the projects did work up quite a bit faster than I had honestly expected, because I figured there is a little bit of a learning curve, but I figured with this moving so much that it would drastically slow me down, and it didn't. See this? How easy and fast they come apart. And that's because the material they're made out of, it has that give to where that's not going to break when you pull them apart. Okay guys, I know this was a very long review video. I hope you found it beneficial and helpful, especially if you're looking for more information about these looms. Make sure you check the video description below. There's going to be a lot more information down there where you can purchase them. Honestly, I ordered both of mine online, and I want to say one was like 15, one was like 16 bucks, something like that. So for these kits like this to have enough to make like an adult size hat, you can adjust it to make all these different little things. I think it's really a good value, and I think it is a good purchase. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this was beneficial. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Once you hit the subscribe button, a little bell will pop up. Make sure you click that bell so that you will actually receive notifications when I have new videos coming out. I am going to start doing some special giveaways and stuff like that. I'm still kind of working all the kinks out with that. But you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you so much.